Welcome to the Blooming League of Original Podcasts.
So welcome everyone to Thrash and Treasure, the podcast about musical theatre and heavy metal, because why not? I am your host, Gareth. I'm with Aaron. That's Aaron over there. Say hi, Aaron.
Hi, Aaron.
He does speak.
How's it going?
I just want to make it very clear that this is all Aaron's idea. And
Oh, you push it onto me, why don't you?
if it's a car crash, I just want it all on you.
I'm used to a car crash. I have my love life.
I thought we were going to save that for future episodes. That's all right. We can get right into that. Before we kick off, I just want to thank Death and Bloom for doing such an amazing job on our title music.
My old school buddy.
Your old school buddy.
Thank you very much, Logan.
Logan had a killer band. The song is called Samsara, and you can have a look on Spotify and grab it off there and hear the whole song. It's pretty amazing if you like the heavier side of things.
Nope, not me.
This is why we're here. That's my job. So if you thought Aaron would be doing musical theatre and I would be doing the thrash metal, you are absolutely wrong, because where's the fun in that? Let's be honest. So kicking things off, I was given probably one of the most, I'm going to say one of the original, one of the most famous, because I'd actually heard of it, musicals in history.
That's a very high bar you are sitting right there.
See how much I don't know about musical theatre? I got handed Hello, Dolly, the original Broadway recording. Well, for the original Broadway cast, which I didn't realise wasn't on Broadway until 1989. Is that right? Or am I wrong?
No.
No?
1964,
Really?
mate. You're probably thinking of when the recording was remastered and re-released as a CD. I mean, there could have been a revival, but...
Where would we be without Wikipedia?
No, 95 it was revived.
Revived in 95.
So that recording was a remaster.
It's a remaster. Okay.
Yes.
So there you go. Because I obviously went so far into this. I actually thought I immersed myself in this far more than I have anything else. But as it turns out, I failed at the first one.
Yeah, I was quite impressed. Like, I'm not that stupid with the choice you gave me. This is not my world.
I went a bit hardcore.
Good, I'm glad. I'm very impressed. A gold star to you.
I watched the movie. I watched the whole movie. It's a long movie,
Yep.
over 2 hours long. So I wasn't kind of ready for that when I sat down and thought, okay, I can punch this out. 90 minutes. Give it to me, Barbara, because it had Barbara Streisand as Dolly. Huge cast.
Yeah, Walter Matthau.
Walter Matthau.
Eileen Brennan, who I grew up with in the Pippi Longstocking movie.
I haven't seen the movie, but I loved the books as a kid.
Pippi Longstocking.
Yes. Yeah, love the books.
You know what? I've never read them, but I grew up with the movies, and even now as an adult, I still sing Scrubbing Day when I'm cleaning. And then when I go for a walk, I'm running away. I shouldn't sing because I can't, but the songs are just so ingrained in my head. And Eileen Brennan was Miss Bannister in the movie, and she was also in Clue.
Okay.
Mrs. Peacock.
All right.
Classic movie.
Another one I haven't seen.
Eileen Brennan. Who else? It had Michael Cormick.
Michael Crawford.
Some others do have him.
Some other, Frank Spencer,
Yep.
and some others.
And he
who
was
have-
also Phantom of the Opera.
He was in The Phantom. Yep, I do know that. And Louis Armstrong had a bit of a cameo.
Yeah, he released the Hello, Dolly as a single.
He did, yes.
I think that might have had something to do with Barbara or somebody taking a role in the movie, or maybe it was the movie getting made. I can't remember the exact details, but his song had a strong influence over something.
Yeah, okay. You've got to remember back then, like in the 50s and 60s, Louis Armstrong was huge.
Yeah.
He was huge.
Not only that, but musical theatre songs were standards.
Yeah.
They became pop hits. They were re-recorded or just released in their original form. It doesn't happen as much now. These days, the songs are very story-driven.
Yeah.
Very entwined into the story. As opposed to back then, they were standalone songs that you could separate and release as a single and sell the show. Even though Hello, Dolly is very titular, it still works.
It's actually a really good point that you bring up, because listening to the original Broadway cast recording, I just put it on for start to finish, and I kind of expected to, because it's musical theatre, I kind of expected to get the story and follow the story. Yeah, and I'm like, what the hell is this woman talking about ribbons down my back? What the? All right, I've got to call it there. I have no idea what's going on here. And when I watched the movie, and then it all made sense. And so after I watched the movie and I went back and jumped on Spotify again, listened to the original one, it's like, hey, I know what's going on now. So yeah, because it's not that sort of, I'm just going to sing the dialogue, which some some musicals, yeah, I don't know, obviously you're singing the dialogue, but like you say, it's story-driven musical rather than standalone songs kind of tied together with a little bit of dialogue.
Look, that type of musical can often be quite polarizing for people who do prefer the classic form of breaking to song and dance, not really related, as opposed to singing. They're like picking up the kettle and pouring themselves a cup of tea.
It does that.
You can laugh, but there is a song lyric in a musical that is literally "Pass the sugar, please. I draped last night. We flew to China." It is the greatest song lyric I've ever heard because it is so mundane. It is exactly that. I'm pouring a cup of tea, and I had a dream last night. Like, I get it. It can be polarizing sometimes.
That could be a Def Leppard song.
But pour some sugar on me, please.
Yeah, I mean, it's not that far wrong.
Hang on. Did I even say please in that, or am I just being a total dork?
No, you just added the please in there because pour some sugar on me, please. I think, that might have been the extended version. They cut that out of the album track. Back to this movie.
Back to Hello, Dolly.
Before we segue too far from Hello, Dolly, here's the thing, and this made sense after I watched the movie. I was looking up, not reviews, but little blurbs and whatever, and apparently, Dolly's a matchmaker.
She's Cupid. She joins the long line of theatrical and cinematic interpretations of Cupid, including Jane Austen's Emma, Cher from Clueless, and Jeremy Piven in Cupid.
Jeremy Piven is now Cupid. Okay.
Yeah, don't remember the TV show Cupid?
No.
No one remembers the TV show Cupid except me because I have no life.
Because you were still awake at 3 a.m. on Channel 10 or whatever, just after. It came on, let me guess, it came on right before Aerobics Oz Style.
No, this was prime time. It was Jeremy Piven, Paula Marshall, 98 to 99 or something.
Oh, so long run. Yeah.
Oh, well, it wasn't going to last, clearly. It had something like 14, 15 episode. And anyways, thanks to that, didn't we get Jeremy Piven in Entourage? So everything worked out in the end.
Oh, and how good is that?
The need to reboot Cupid.
Yeah. Oh, I was going to say reboot Entourage, but I don't think it'd work these days. I don't think you could out Jeremy Piven in Entourage. Ari Gold was just next level, horrible, perfect.
See, I never watched it.
Oh, really? Okay.
No, I have dignity.
Yeah, as it turns out, I don't, and I don't think I could go back and watch it. I think that's one of those things you don't want to revisit. But I saw it and I liked it. So
look, I watched the first season as I do with a lot of shows, but whether or not I continue after that is all relative of whether or not the first one kept me interested. But yeah, it was all right. Yeah. It was what you expected. Like, you hear an actor and his entourage, and you can kind of write the story yourself in your head. So really.
Look, it kind of does, yeah. I mean, there wasn't much in it that was shocking. It might have supposed to be, they wanted it to be shocking, but I don't think there was a lot of shocking things that they did or got up to. It was just, it's sleazy Hollywood.
Predictable.
It's,
And the movie bombed, so that should tell everyone everything.
Didn't see the movie, but yeah, there you go. I didn't watch the movie.
Neither did anyone else, and that's why it bombed. It's your fault.
It is my fault. I was too busy watching Hello,
Dolly. Yes, good.
Here's the thing about this film. Every guy in this film, now Horace Vandergelder, who in the movie was played by Walter Matthau, he's a dick. He is a massive, rich dickhead. Really disliked him. And the other male leads, they're just pathetic.
Yeah, they're pretty dopey.
I'm like, okay, blew my mind. You're kind of like, I'm 22 and I haven't kissed a girl. Are you serious?
You said it like it's a bad thing.
No, I don't know. I kind of like kissing girls. That's my thing. But on the flip side, there were so many really strong female roles in this.
Yes, that's why I picked it.
Obviously, Dolly was the other one. It was Irene Malloy, Minnie Fay. They were the two. Yeah, they were fantastic. Honestly, I'm just thinking that the girls are just running this show, and that was good. I like that. That story part of it, I actually liked it. The music, I don't know. Like, a couple of songs got stuck in my head. The one about getting out of Yonkers when Cornelius is singing to Barnaby and saying, "We're going to get out of Yonkers, Barnaby." For some reason, that earwormed me for days.
When they went down the street and got their picture took.
It's an interesting premise, but it makes more sense now.
Sorry to cut you off.
Cut me off.
Sorry. Put on your Sunday clothes is what you're talking about. That was in the movie Wally.
Oh, okay.
Pixar movie, because it's the only movie he has to watch. Hello, Dolly.
I should pay more attention to Wally.
It's so beautiful. That was the other reason why I picked it, because Wally loves it, and I love Wally.
I do. Look, I've seen Wally a lot of times, but there's obviously some... There's obviously some details that I've completely missed. But having said that, I haven't seen it for probably 10 years.
That's the one movie that's gonna survive the apocalypse. Hello, Dolly, and Cher.
Okay, I'm going to go back and watch Wally again.
Good. We should all go back and watch Wally again because it is beautiful.
It is. It was a great film, even if I wasn't paying that close attention to it. But I got the vibe.
Speaking of Minnie Faye, in the recent Broadway revival, she was actually played by Beanie Feldstein, who is Jonah Hill's sister.
Wow. Okay.
So there's a little bit of trivia for you that will go in one ear and out the other.
There it is. I don't get Jonah Hill at all. I'm sorry. How do I? It's not really fair to rate this thing. I'm gonna. Are we rating out of 5 or 10? 10. We could do 5. Like here's the thing. This is what I really liked about it when I put on my musical theatre hat, which I do not have.
It's pink and glittery.
There's. Because the songs are kind of standalone, the song could come on and it's not like you've just been dropped into the middle of something. If it's on shuffle, like you could listen to the original Broadway recording on shuffle and it wouldn't really matter, I don't think.
No,
whereas if it was,
And I know that because that's what happened to me. I didn't realize it was on random and hang on. Wait.
Yeah.
It was like 4 songs had gone by and the finale came up.
Here's the thing, actually talking about that, when the song Hello Dolly came up, which is the 10th track out of 13, I thought that was the finale. And I will admit, when it came up, I do remember thinking, I thank Christ for that. This is done. And
yeah.
And then another one went, and I went, what is going on here? And I had to check and went, oh, okay, it doesn't finish with that song. It should finish with that song, but it doesn't finish with that song.
I like that you mentioned the female roles because that was one of the reasons why I picked it, because it does have so many strong female roles. And plus it's a comedy, and I know a lot of people today sort of talk about there's no good strong female comedy roles out there. And, fighting that, saying that women can do comedy too and women can be just as funny. And that's the thing, like these roles have always been there. It was a huge thing, especially in the 60s leading into the 70s. And then we went through a phase of, real epic dramas. And then, in the 2000s, it was very much men. It was duos of men, like The Producers and Book of Mormon and stuff like that. And, there's been roles for women, obviously. They're Legally Blonde, Hairspray, but there's not too much that has been a real strong, iconic female role in comedy, in an original musical in a long time. So, in a way, people are right, but those roles are there. But otherwise, we're just going to keep reviving those old roles in order to showcase the comedians of today, or the funny actresses, or those with good comedic timing today on Broadway. Back then they were vehicles for the Ethel Merman, for Barbara Streisand, for Julie Andrews, for all of them. They were star-making roles. But now it's a lot of, social justice stuff, which I get. The problem is that the comedy roles are now gone. So yeah, let's bring back the strong female comedy leads in musical theatre. Why not? Dolly Levi is iconic to theatre. And that song, as you say, you know it. People who haven't even seen the movie know the song. That's the power of music. But of course, with all these strong female leads, there's a song like It Takes a Woman.
Which, yeah, and I've got to admit, when I started listening to that song, I just went, yeah, okay, we're stuck in 1960s on this one. But when you listen to it, it's tongue in cheek a little bit, but it is still, even though it says it takes a woman, it is the woman's still in the powerful role of it.
Obviously, having all those strong female roles, you're going to have a couple of guys with their old-fashioned values and misogyny and stuff like that. But ultimately, the song is really saying that it takes a woman to do everything that a man can't do because he's too shit. I would know.
Oh, absolutely.
But
yeah.
it's saying it in a way that it sounds like they're saying it takes a woman to get in the kitchen and bake a pie. But there's a tongue-in-cheek quality to it, and that can't be overlooked, especially when approaching old comedies. But unfortunately, satire is dying.
Yeah, it is. It is. And I don't think this is not one of those shows that you could pick the eyes out if you were going to go full PC brigade, start cancelling everything. I don't think you can pull anything out of this show to go, that's because overall, like you said, they're all strong. They're all strong women.
Yeah.
The women all come out top in the end, it's actually, when you kind of think about it, 1969, it's a pretty subversive story to tell.
Even then, it was earlier because it was based on a play called The Merchant of Yonkers. Well, it was a novel or something. Then it was turned into a play by Thornton Wilder called bloody hell, now I've forgotten it. The Matchmaker.
The Matchmaker, yep.
Thornton Wilder did Our Town, which is one of those, it's a very well-known show. It's just actors and a couple of chairs, and the audience is sort of part of a town hall. I don't know. I haven't seen it.
Okay, yep.
I tend to fall asleep during straight theatre, normal theatre. It's called straight theatre because there's no, singing and dancing. It's nothing to do with sexuality or anything like that. It's just straight theatre, and it's not straight theatre and gay theatre. It's literally just musicals and straight theatre. That's how I've always called it, but now I'm going to get in trouble because of the bloody times we live in. Anyways.
There's no gays in my play.
Well, I'll tell you what, some of the ones I've seen or forced to sit through have just been, even if they're really compelling, I've just fallen asleep. I really have. I get so warm and comfy. In a cinema, there's no lights of this emanating warmth off the stage, right? But I can stay awake. Occasionally I'll fall asleep if a movie is boring, but musicals I can stay awake. But straight theatre, I just get so warm from the lights and...
We are literally the opposite. I fell asleep at Aladdin on Broadway.
Did you? Oh.
Yep. Apparently I snored.
You know what? I would have punched you. I really would have.
Oh, no.
I see somebody on their phone and I want to bloody throw it at them. If you were sitting next to me snoring, I would have been like, dude, fucking like, oh, are we allowed to swear?
I think we are. Yeah. I'm pretty sure I've already sworn on this one. So, no, I think we're good with that.
Yeah, I'll try not to say the C word.
It was, Aladdin on Broadway. It was like, it was all set up by someone else. So I didn't have a choice. And it was like, we're going to the Broadway show. And
I'm grateful.
And then it said, we're going to Aladdin. And it was just like, just anything else. Can we just do anything else?
Really? That Friend Like Me number was amazing.
I think I slept through that one.
There was bloody fireworks on stage.
Soundgarden were playing Madison Square Garden at the same time, so I was in
a bad mood. You were chucking a trumpy.
I was having a trumpy at a cartoon being, sung on stage. So anyway,
instead of your little rock band.
Yes, that little rock band at Madison Square Garden. I'm on Broadway with Disney, for Christ's sake.
With all those hundreds of people who put all those costumes together and sewn every single diamante and painted every bit of the set and timed the lights to the choreography and the sets and all the sets that move on their own and the fireworks.
And the flying carpet.
And the flying carpet that flies that you can actually see the strings. I was so disappointed. I wanted actual magic.
It was really funny. We met the cast after the show.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, and it was like, whatever you do, don't ask us how we did the flying carpet. We're not going to answer that question. And I was just sitting there thinking, dude, I saw the wires. It wasn't that. And I was half asleep. But anyway, they were a great bunch.
And that's not like King Kong where you see the puppeteers because we meant to see the puppeteers.
Right,
like this was meant to be a flying carpet. And I know everyone's going to say, oh, King Kong the musical was shit, but I don't care. I love King Kong. I was 2 rows from the front and he was looking right at me into my soul. And that puppet was absolutely amazing. Like the music was, it was all right, but the puppet, oh my God. And that was worth the price alone. Anyways, the point was that you could see the puppeteers there. They weren't trying to be coy about it or, whatever.
Could see your hand up its back.
And anyways, we're digressing from Hello Dolly. We cannot talk about Hello Dolly without addressing the elephant in the room.
The elephant in the room?
Yes, the corn story.
What?
Do you know the corn story?
No, I don't know the corn story.
Okay, well, anyone who knows anything about Carol Channing knows corn story.
I had to Google Carol Channing, but carry on.
Okay, well, shame on you. Anyways... Now, apparently this is a rumor. It's never been confirmed. You're going to get people on message boards that said, I was there, or a friend of my friends was there, and they said it was true. And it's all bullshit. It's all people just trying to get attention. But apparently when doing Hello Dolly, Carol during the show, or maybe during interval, I'm not sure of the finer details, but apparently she went to the toilet and... her mic was still on, and all anybody heard was Carol saying, corn? I don't remember having corn. And then a flush of the toilet.
Oh, that is gold.
And it is stuck. So if you hear anybody send up Carol Channing, they're always going to do the Quan. I don't remember having Quan. And
Yeah.
you could just imagine it, like that voice coming across the theater, saying something so ridiculous, something that everyone wants to be true, but whether or not it is, who knows? It was 60 years ago.
There's no live recording of it, sadly.
That was 7 years before you were born, so that's how long ago it was. The Dark Ages.
And now I know who Carol Channing is because I had to Google it.
And
so.
now you know even more about her.
Yes.
That she doesn't remember having corn.
She doesn't remember having corn, but then who does? So.
No, and I apologize for my terrible Carol Channing voice there. There's no way you can say that without doing the voice. And Carol's a one of a kind, and I know we lost her a few years ago, and it's very sad by that. But we love Carol. Well, I do. I don't know if Gareth does.
I know who she is now. Look, I always knew who she was. I just didn't put the name to the face. And as soon as I saw the face, I went, okay, I know Carol Channing. So, but
And the voice. How could you not know the voice?
no, I know. Yeah, it was that voice.
Which Dolly did you prefer?
Well,
Carol or Babs?
do you know what? I actually think I prefer Babs.
And Barbara Streisand fans will be very happy with that.
Yep, I can't say I'm a Streisand fan.
As in, it's all about Babs, so no one else exists when it comes to Dolly.
Um,
But for everyone else, it's pretty much 50-50. A lot of people say when it comes to original cast, sometimes you can't go wrong. It's quite often the voices you grew up with, they're the ones that get stuck in your heads, the ones you get used to. Oh, one thing about Hello Dolly is you mentioned how in that time it was kind of didn't necessarily say groundbreaking, but however you put it, it was groundbreaking for its time. Not only that, but in 1967, the Broadway cast was actually replaced by an entirely black cast.
wow. Okay.
I think it was 1967. There was Pearl Bailey as Dolly, Cab Calloway, and I can't remember who the rest of the cast were. But think about it, that was only 2 years after Selma.
Yeah, that's pretty huge. Yeah.
That is pretty huge. Like for something that is, anyone can look at that and go, wow, this is such a white musical. It pretty much is. But it just goes to show that this is what I love about theatre, in that you can interpret things along the way. You can give a show to a different director, a different cast. And even in the UK, Danny LaRue, I think it was a man, a drag queen, played the role. So it's just one of those roles that is basically, it's a starring role.
Yeah, I did Google that. When I was Googling, I found that out. 1983, Danny LaRue. And I went, okay. And then I clicked on Danny LaRue and went, yep, that's the Danny LaRue that I know. And okay, so there you go. So
it shouldn't surprise anyone.
That was my adventures with Dolly, which has completely ruined my Spotify algorithm. And so when I'm getting suggested songs, it's it's halfway between Hamilton and Judas Priest now. So yeah,
that's where we're at, the intersection between Hamilton and Judas Priest. Your Spotify is just on brand.
It is. Yeah, it is. Oh my God. So it is on brand. My Spotify's now on brand.
Mine's all filled with birdsong. I need nature somehow. So I'll close my eyes and pretend that I'm out in the forest. In fact, the first couple of months of lockdown, I was listening to streetscapes.
Okay.
Closing my eyes and pretending I'm in Israel or wherever. Just on a holiday. Just
Israel specifically.
That was the first country that came to my mind. Oh, okay.
Okay.
It's funny because I've never been there. I don't know if I'd go there before I go to a lot of other countries, and I know it sounds anti-Semitic, even though it's not. It's literally just not number one on my fucking travelogue.
It's it's not high on my bucket list. The US has slipped down on my bucket list, so there you go. It's slipping down very, very fast.
You've been there though.
I have, yeah, but I want to do the West Coast. But anyway.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I've been there, done that. What do I care? I've been there, fell asleep on Broadway. I've done it all.
Well, I've done Hawaii.
Well, that counts.
But I think probably we can say goodbye to Hello Dolly.
I think so.
Hey there! It's time to get popped on Culture, the official Puzzle Hub pop quiz podcast. And welcome to game number 5. I'm your new host, Matt Young, and for today's special theme, we're going to test your knowledge on musical groups, including bands, boy bands, girl groups, and vocal ensembles. Play against your friends or the clock and see how you go. Alright, let's get into it, shall we? Game 1. Songs in the key of words. I'm going to give you 3 key words that appear within 8 different songs. Pretty simple. If you guess the song correctly on the first keyword, give yourself 3 points. If you guess it on the second, give yourself 2 points, which of course means give yourself 1 for guessing it on the third and final keyword. So let's see how you go. Ready? First clue. Fantasy. Landslide. Reality. That was Bohemian Rhapsody by Queen. Second clue. Lights. Carrie. Home. Of course, that's All the Small Things by Blink-182. Next up, Valentino. Crystal. Italian. That's right, it was Manic Monday by the Bangles. I was kissing Valentino by a crystal blue Italian stream. Alrighty, fourth, picked, bunch, glance. I Want You Back by the Jackson 5. How are you going so far? Next up, lady, glitters, buying. That was Stairway to Heaven by Led Zeppelin. Lonely, gazing, window. That one was a little bit hard for me, but that was Waterfalls by TLC. Here's our seventh clue. Walked, smile, cool. Of course, that was Stop by Spice Girls. And lastly, honey, bees, envy. My Girl by The Temptations. And time's up. How did you go in that round? And be sure to check out our other shows on the Bloop Network, especially Thrash and Treasure, where you'll hear incredible interviews with genuine icons of stage and screen. So until the next game, I've been Matt, you've been Popped on Culture, and I shall see you next time. See ya!
And bringing up Hawaii, which is a nice segue because it's a small island, and the one that I gave you all come from Small Island.
Oh, you mean
Yeah.
the album of which I have written a review?
I just want to go out there. I did not give this to you because I thought I'm really going to fuck with him. I actually gave this to you because
okay.
No, I didn't. I wasn't.
So he who hasn't read my review yet is apologizing already.
I didn't do this to fuck with you. This one came from the heart. But I also thought,
Okay.
this'll, and I did this before I knew I was getting Hello Dolly because we don't know what we're getting week to week.
Yes, for the listeners at home, the host probably should have explained this at the start, and I meant to be the idiot sidekick.
Oh, there it is.
We swap over CDs and torture each other with music. That's basically the premise. We're learning new words. So my friend Gareth here decided to give me an album called Two, which, me being a moron, saw Two and looked up Two and saw that it was a band from America. So I start like 3 hours of research on this band, and I'm coming up with all these segues and jokes and puns and fun stories and facts and things like that to do with this band, only to find that I should have just clicked on the link that Gareth sent me and I would have noticed the album is called Two and the band is called Alien Weaponry. So I'll get into my review, which is, when I first saw the cover with the Mask of Sauron on it, I knew right away they would be a New Zealand band, which is fine by me, but little did I realize that my oh-so-gracious co-host here had decided to force this pasty little white boy to listen to an album with deep, meaningful songs about rights and land rights and land right riots, knowing full well that this is not my type of music. Well, I, for one, am not as stupid as I look or sound. I will not fall for your dirty little trick, Gareth. I would not be that white boy who speaks ill of such important topics, asshole. So when the album started, I thought, cool, this is kind of trippy and weird in this opening overture. Maybe this won't be so bad after all. Then, once the album kicked in, with the second track, their single RuPaul Tijuana, or The Trembling Earth, which in Maori translates as Ru'anata Whenua, which in English means trembling earth. Anyways, while the band opened the song with a traditional haka, I learned that Tā Whenua was about a riot from the 1800s in Tauranga, in the northern part of the North Island. And I was like, oh my God, yay! We went to Tauranga last year and it was so much fun. We went to Hobbiton, of course, because who doesn't do that? And me and Mimi Kaka were so nerdy, we'd volunteered to run and shout, we're going on an adventure, like Bilbo did in the movies. And oh my God, I had the best KFC there. It had red onion on it and it was delicious. Oh, and after we had gotten on the ship and returned back to the area a couple of days later, they were taking me to see some hot geysers. But I was so disappointed. All I got were some stinking steamy rocks.
Boom, boom.
But anyways, where was I? Oh yeah, Track Force started by this point and I had completely missed what was happening on the record because my holiday was too much fun. So then I let my Anya kitty cat in the room, but she had the right idea and ran away immediately because my little vengeance demon has taste. I did find that a number of the songs had stadium-heavy sounds. One could very well picture thousands of screaming fans singing along to certain moments, especially those with strong social or political messages, and picturing a stadium filled with similarly dressed long-haired fans singing along to Alien Weaponry's debut album truly made me realize why I prefer a small, intimate pub gig. I can smell the beer-soaked ashtrays from here. Now that is music to my ears. All in all, I find 2 to be a terribly fitting title since I give it a 2 out of 5.
Wow.
And Gareth gets an I'm onto you, boy.
Wow.
And you better be thankful there's not a Schindler's List musical.
Shit.
Look, I don't hate metal. I just can't enjoy it as much as I do something like punk or something like that. Something I can sing along to. Because I can't sing along to rah, 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 rah.
So let's do a podcast that's 50% metal. That's a good idea. Look, that's a challenge. That one was a challenge, and I knew it would be.
I knew you did deliberately. Everybody owes me $5 because I said he's done this deliberately to make me look like a bloody asshole.
No.
But I'm not that stupid, so I just talked about my holiday.
Also half of it's sung in Maori, so...
Well, I didn't understand that, obviously, but I did my research and I looked up what they were about. And I looked at the video clips. They got some good ones, or decent ones at least. A few cliches here and there, like flying rubble, and shaky camera work and hair flowing in the wind and lightning and stuff. The same things that keep popping up in every music video, basically. One of their videos in particular was a story about a chief who I think left New Zealand and went to England and returned with muskets or something. I don't know. That was a real brutal video clip.
I think that might be in Rapatu, maybe, or Uruta. Yes.
Either way, they got good production values behind them, and I was quite impressed with that. As much as I joke about New Zealand, I do love the country, and I've been there 2 or 3 times now. Probably say more of it than you have by now.
You have. I was born there, and there's a reason I left.
Oh, shots fired.
Well, I can do that because, much like being a ginger, I can make ginger jokes, and I can also do Kiwi jokes.
Like, obviously, being Australian, we're going to make the same jokes, the sheep fucking jokes, over and over again, but there are actually more sheep per capita in Australia than there are New Zealand. So the joke is redundant, and it's just us being bastards.
Is there a bigger cliche than an Australian getting deported from New Zealand for making sheep jokes? Probably not.
An Australian getting jailed in Bali for drug smuggling.
Yeah, okay. Oh, see, look, if you'd have done that, you could be on TV now doing some kind of...
Oh, people would buy me fucking novels.
They would. They'd buy you. They'd buy your book.
Shit.
I'm glad... God. The fuck did we go from Alien Weaponry to...
You know who she's dating at the moment?
Who?
Not that I'm a gossip or anything. I really couldn't give a flying fuck who's dating who, but I was looking up Silverchair and she's dating Daniel Johns.
Which is kind of weird because if you squint, Louis de Jong, the guitarist and vocalist for Alien Weaponry, he looks a little bit Daniel Johns. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. That's why I was looking them up. That's what happened. I thought, he looks like Daniel Johns. And I what's happened to Silverchair? So I looked them up. I squinted my eyes and everything. I thought, dude, my eyes did keep going to Henry.
Oh, he's a good-looking rooster, isn't he?
Yes, so let's move on. Move on. Okay. I'm here to hate them. I'm not here to like them.
He's too young for you.
Anyways, I like my dilfs.
You're about...
And also I make it very clear that the issues they speak about, I am in full support of.
Look, and that's the thing. I mean, if I was just going to totally troll you, it would have been something else entirely. But there's a strong social conscience in the album. They've got a strong message.
That's good. And we can get that across to our listeners. And just make sure you guys pick up both of these CDs on Spotify or check them out, whatever.
Check them out, yeah. And if you don't know what the song's about, they've got subtitles in most of their YouTube videos,
English, yep.
which is kind of fun. In English, yeah, because, I mean, some songs are in English, but a lot of them are Maori, because the boys both speak Maori fluently. They went to a Maori school, so English is kind of their second language. Bit of trivia there.
Oh, okay.
The silver chair things, I see that, because, I mean, honestly, these guys were, like Henry and Lewis, they were 8 and 10 and 8. Henry's the older one when they started the band. So it's a little bit nuts. And when I met them,
how old are they now?
Henry's just turned 20, and this year Lewis turned 18. So I saw them in pubs, and Lewis wasn't even old enough to be in there. Neither was Nathan, which was a couple of years ago. So when they toured
Australia,
yeah,
I find that's common.
Oh yeah, and
that's even common in the drag world, or not necessarily strip clubs, I hope.
Oh,
especially if their parents are there, because when young performers aren't hanging around with the bar with everyone, they backstage or in a closet or something, whatever there is, and then they come out, they perform.
That's the thing. After the boys finished their, and I'm sure they did this on all the other gigs around the country, but I saw them in Perth. And after the show, they came out and went to the merch desk and signed merchandise and got photos taken, and which was just like in the middle of the pub.
Yeah, that sort of thing.
Yeah. I mean, but they weren't drinking.
But it's not like sitting at the bar talking to the barflies.
No.
Like I was doing at 15, 16.
That's what we were doing, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Back then I had mohawk and piercings and...
Actually, very, very cool thing about that, after that, and this happens a lot at their shows, at the final song, and they're saying their goodbyes, there was a spontaneous, in inverted commas, haka performed by the audience back to the band at the end of the song, and I actually got a short clip of it, and I think I chucked it on Facebook or something, but it was like, that's very, very cool. It was very cool. It's a sign of respect and thank you for the boys. So yeah.
Well, you'd hope it was not a bloody war haka.
Yeah, come at me, bro.
Shit.
Here's 1,000 people. I want you three boys down here and face us now.
It.
Yeah.
You three schoolboys, go to bed.
It should. Yeah. What's going on?
Way past your bedtime.
No, it's very cool. And this is their first album, their debut album. So yeah, it wasn't a total troll. There will be trolls. I've got no doubt, but this wasn't one of them.
I'll be ready for them, don't you worry. I just wasn't ready for them in the first fucking episode. You came to me and said, what am I going to assault you with? And I had actually picked my number 2 CD, like my episode 2 CD for number 1, because it's a personal favorite and it's so good.
Yes.
And you were the one that said, are you ready to assault me? So I thought,
I probably did.
You used the word assault. And I thought, okay, well, he's asking for it. So I'm going to pick something that is going to drive him crazy and get stuck in his head, and not anything he wants to listen to ever and will be forced to. And and then you turn around with your fucking land rights and your land right riots and your race wars. And I'm like, what? No, you can't do that to me in the first episode. That's not fair. That's so mean. Okay, maybe the 3rd episode, sure. 4th, warm up a bit. So I've had to go through a list of musicals, and it's game fucking on, Mole. I tell you that.
Wow. All right. Good.
Yes.
Bring it on.
Because there are some musicals out there about some very touchy subjects. So, as I say, you are very lucky there is not a Schindler's List musical, or that would have been next.
I'm just going to sit here and just shit on this fucking... Oh my, what is this thing about anyway? Oh, what? Okay. Oops. Yeah, let's not do that. Let's not do that.
No. I mean, there's musicals about AIDS. So
Okay.
I'll go there. Don't you worry. I'll go there. Game on, Mole.
I'm looking at my list of what I've got coming up, and I'm gonna change a couple. But anyway, only just because I think I went light on you a couple of times, so I'm going to change them. It's interesting that we both chose socially strong, completely different from opposite spectrums of the musical spectrum, opposite ends of the musical spectrum, socially challenging, socially strong pieces of music to review, which was not set up at all.
No, because obviously we don't tell each other what we're doing.
We don't.
Yeah.
It's a complete coincidence. So there you go.
Yeah, it's funny because doing research and all that, I saw nothing about it being created for that purpose, for any sort of social conscious or
Okay.
any sort of feminist issue. But these days, you see people getting into writing to push their
Yeah.
political agenda, whether or not they're correct or whatnot, but it seems to be the driving force of getting into art to enhance their politics, to get it out there. And even then, a person could have zero political intentions, and yet their work is turned into something political by the audience who sees it as something political, whether or not it was or not. So I don't personally know if Hello Dolly was political, unlike something like Hamilton or Hair. You know, they are political. They're very strongly, staunchly political. And also with Hello Dolly, that they had that, or that they'll have colorblind casting or an all black version to show, like, does it matter? Does it really matter if Dolly is black or white? And having said that, Dolly has always been black because Carol Channing is of African American ancestry.
Okay. Did not know that. I also haven't seen Hamilton yet. So.
Oh, haven't you? I have. I'm not a fan.
No.
I love rap.
No.
I love hip hop, especially 90s rap and hip hop, but like Salt and Pepper, that's my jam.
Wow. Is that another podcast or not?
That's a whole other podcast. That's a whole other load of trouble for me for daring to say that. And I swear it has nothing to do with Lin-Manuel Miranda blocking me on Twitter.
Yeah.
I don't know what it was, but I think it's pretty funny. I can understand Donald Trump or Kathy Griffin, someone who's polarizing, blocking people, but Lin-Manuel isn't really polarizing, so it's more of a surprise, if anything. Okay, well, he sort of kind of is polarizing, especially on a political level. But, you know, people these days are kind of gravitating towards media and entertainment that speaks to them or reflects them. And I don't know if I completely agree with that. I think that's a little bit misguided because you're missing out on seeing the world or seeing perspectives from other people's point of view if you're just looking for things that you agree with. And, you know, I think just watch what you want to watch, really, because the story's good and because it appeals to, or it sounds fun or funny. That's my advice for anybody. But even then, watch things that don't appeal to you. That's the point of this show here.
Sure. That's what we're doing. We're literally listening to stuff that we wouldn't.
No, I have no metal. Like, I have a little bit of Metallica and that's about it. You know, unless you count things like The Who, which is not, you know, as a child growing up, my brother and sister used to listen to Metallica and Guns N' Roses and Motley Crue and Megadeth and Pantera. So I grew up with that. I could probably sing along to a few of those songs today still because I heard them over and over again. I had to share a bedroom with my brother for at least 4 or 5 years of my life, you know. But on my playlist, I've got Talking Heads, I've got The Clash, I've got The Who, I've got stuff that I can actually sing along to, you know. I got a lot of 80s new wave. I got, well, obviously a lot of pop and things like that. So this is about opening my mind to metal, and we don't get to just listen to 5 minutes and be like, that's it, we're done. We have to actually dive into this and learn what this is about. And you have to do the same with musicals. So, of course, you can imagine my reaction when I found out what these bloody songs are about.
You
and I'm like
bastard.
panicking. And I'm saying to a friend of mine, oh my God, he has done this deliberately. And she's, you know, really, really left wing. So, and I'm like, oh my God, what do I do? And she found it so funny. But anyways, I'm sure you can make use of all that.
I don't know if I can do that. It's just the ramblings of a fool.
It is.
No.
Proudly. 100% agree.
It's a 2-part episode, that one. Anyway, we probably should wrap it up because I think we just agree to disagree on everything every week on this show.
Well, I think we both agreed that Hello Dolly is an important part of pop culture.
No, I'm going to... Yes, we do.
But also, having said that, alien weaponry and the message that they are getting across to their audience and now our audience is important. So
check them out. Yep. And when Broadway opens again, go and see Hello Dolly, I guess. I don't know. Is it still playing?
No, it's closed. Long time ago.
Okay. There's watch the movie if you've got 2.5 hours of...
On Disney Plus?
It's on Disney Plus. Yes. What isn't on Disney Plus? Okay. Oh, speaking of which, you had a bombshell for us.
Oh, yes. Okay. I want you to sit down,
Uh-oh.
take a deep breath, and you may need a cold shower after this. I am very ashamed of myself, but in the past couple of weeks of research doing this episode, while looking through a list of 19 different movie titles, I realized that I have never, ever seen a Barbra Streisand movie.
Wow.
Ever in my life. And I made you watch Hello Dolly at 3 hours long, and I haven't even seen it.
Your homework is you have to watch Beaches.
Oh, I don't know. I love Beaches. I've seen it like 50 times.
Isn't that Barbra Streisand?
That's Bette Midler.
The fuck I know. Okay.
Yeah, we've just gone from Barbara and Hello Dolly to Bette Midler and Hello Dolly to never seen a Barbara movie. So
never seen a Barbra Streisand movie.
Okay, I know I have to give up my LGBTQ card. That's fine. The rainbow has faded.
Wow.
It is a deep shame of mine, but now apparently I have to go to the grave never having seen a Babs movie because it is pretty funny. And everyone who hears it is like, what? You've never seen a Babs movie? No, sorry, what about Meet the Fuckers? No way am I saying Meet the Fuckers, Meet the Parents was bad enough. Never seen The Prince of Ties. I've never seen What's Up, Doc. I've never seen Hello Dolly. I've never seen Funny Girl. I've never seen Yentl. Papa, can you hear me? I've never seen Yentl. I know about it. I know all about her. And I know all about her career. And I've seen live performances of hers. But no, she's legendary. She's diva. But so it's not as if I'm an ignoramus or anything like that. I just never seen a Barbra Streisand movie, but now you have,
and now I have, and that was of my own my own volition. I decided to research the role, the movie, the musical so much that I had to watch the movie as well. So,
I watched the video clips of Alien Weaponry, so now we're even.
We no, that's not even. That's not even. You haven't watched a Barbra Streisand movie. That's not even.
I mean, I considered it, but as I say, I was looking through her filmography and nothing rang a bell, no memories. I think the only time I've ever seen her on any sort of film or TV that's not a live performance was when someone impersonated her on The Nanny. Like, she was always bought out. Fran was obsessed with her, but I don't think they could ever afford to get her. So they got an impersonator, and that's literally the only time I've seen her. And I knew Barbara before that. I knew her songs, and I knew, people were obsessed with her. And then doing theatre and stuff like that as I grew up. And in the theatre crosswords, I'd learn so much about her, especially that a name would keep popping up. But I guess I just presumed.
Yeah.
I thought I must have done. No, sorry. And I thought I'll watch it after we record the episode. And then I thought, actually, no, maybe I won't. Maybe I will go through this live, never having seen a Babs movie. But still, you can't deny how talented she is. So that's on my bucket list now. Never watch a
we all need goals.
Barbra movie.
Never watch a
Yep.
That's a bombshell. I think on that note, we should wrap things up. We should say goodbye. And say goodbye to Hello Dolly and say goodbye to Alien Weaponry.
Goodbye, Hello Dolly. And say hello to Alien Weaponry. And make sure to sign up for our Patreon at Blooming Theatricals and follow us on Twitter at Thrash and Treasure.
Sign up for all. It's cheap and fun. And it pays the bills.
I'll put some podcast stuff up on the Patreon, some bloopers and upcoming sneak peeks and things like that.
But we will be back next week with a new musical and a new metal album.
Oh, we should swap.
Let's swap them.
I'll go first this week.
Yes.
Oh, wait. Who went first last week?
I went first this time.
No, you did? All right. I'll go first this time. I'm going to give you a little show, and it is very little. It's very personal. It's called A New Brain. So maybe you might enjoy that more than Hello Dolly. Maybe not. Otherwise, where's the fun?
Let's hope not. All right. You're giving me a new brain.
Just to make it clear, the original cast recording,
Absolutely.
not
right.
the 2015 revival, or whatever it was.
Okay, because apparently that makes a difference now.
Because there is two.
All right. Oh, okay. I will dig into that for next week's show. And I'm going to pull this one out of somewhere else. I'm giving you, it's a 2020 album release, Avatar Hunter-Gatherer. And I'm going to let you dig your teeth into that. And we can come back next week and discuss everything that's right and wrong in the world.
Well, let's just hope then they're better than their movie's sake. There's no promises.
There's no promises. There's no promises at all. No promises at all. I don't think there's any trees or tree analogies in in Avatar Hunter Gatherer, but hey, I don't know. You'll find out. You'll make your own judgment.
Hello, hunter gatherer. Where do you think hunters gatherers do their huntering and gathering?
In the trees. There we go. Okay. All right. On that note, we will say goodbye, and we will see everyone back here next week.
Hooroo!
Shall I do you're with Gareth and Aaron, or I'm Gareth and you're Aaron, or
No, you can introduce me.
Okay.
I'm if you want to introduce me as your idiot sidekick, that's absolutely fine.
No.
Why not? Like, I'm down with.
Because the tables might be turned halfway through it.